Good morning, Gun. Good morning, Sharat. How are you guys? Good to see y'all. Let's see. I think that's all the. Oh, whoops. Twitch. All right, now we're done with the housekeeping stuff. 2 meetings already? Damn. Somebody's putting you to work, Gun Highs. Sharat recently got married, couldn't attend your channel. Well, congratulations, Sharat. Congratulations on getting married, man. I hope you guys are having a great time. Also, you never have to worry about not being able to come to one of my streams. I totally get it. You know? My hope is that your lives are so full in real life that you can't ever come to my streams. You know? Monday, bro. Monday. It's already 10:40 a.m. here. Damn, dude. 2 meetings on a Monday? God damn. Somebody's looking to make a name for themselves. whoever whoever your corporate overlords are, they're trying to make a name for themselves. Scrub master ain't sleeping. Yeah, damn, that's damn straight right there. Damn Skippy. I just realized I haven't updated my list in a little while. Good morning, David Bailey. How are you? Excuse me. Do it, update it. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm gonna update that thing. Let me just if I could just I'm just let's see. Delete that. I still wish I could just have a channel big enough that it would allow me to automate this list. Let's see. I need to run .net, YouTube.cs, like that. I always get a little giggle when you say good morning. Why? Because it's not good morning for you? What is it for you? Time zones are weird, man. Okay, 8 p.m. I should say good day then. Good day. Good day is probably the more universal way to address folk. All right, we did that, and then we have to go into. All right, I'm gonna disappear for a second. Bye, everyone. Be right back. All right, there we go. I'm back. Cool. That's done. All right, we're back to the Discord bot. We're gonna try to get this hopefully wrapped up today. I think I'm pretty close. See, this will be NeoVim. This will be my terminal. Yay, you're back. Good morning to you. Good morning to you as well. Good morning. Good morning. Top of the morning to you. Top of the Monday to you. Alright. Steve's bot. Make this a little bigger. Alright, so we got NeoVim, we got the terminal, we got our system monitor. Let's go ahead and open up NeoVim. Let's go ahead and open up our test Discord. Let's see, Discord. .com. Go to our playground. Okay. So I got this for the most part working. There's a couple edge cases that I need to work through. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is... What's the first thing? So the first thing I want to address is in our handler. So let's go here. I have no idea why that opened up. What do you think about VLang? What's VLang? I don't. I guess what I think is I don't even think anything because I don't know what it is. What's VLang? VLang. The V programming language. Why are there so many programming languages? Yesterday I got introduced to the Vala programming language. This was the programming language I learned about yesterday on stream. And now I'm learning about the V programming language. Simple, fast, safe, compiled for developing maintainable software. It reminds me of Go. It almost looks like it might have been directly inspired by Go. Right, like this syntax right here, very Go-esque. Maybe like a mixture of Go and maybe Rust with this mutt keyword. Yeah, super interesting. Is it relatively new? Let's see. Do they have like an about? Guess not. Looks like their first release was May 29th, 2022, maybe? Huh. Yeah, interesting. I did not know about it. Mark, what up? Did we change schedule or something? We just went through daylight saving time here in the United States, or we just activated, I think, daylight saving time. So maybe that's why it changed. Because for me, it's still 4:50 a.m. Mark, I don't know about you.
Did we just become best friends?
Sage, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Dota isn't JavaScript enough. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I think JavaScript is enough. Now, I know there's people that will argue with me. But yeah, JavaScript's is enough. Gunhi's the perfect response. Why is there so many programming languages? There should only be C, C++, JS, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, and C#. I could live in this world. Yeah, I could live in this world. Although I do like me a NoSQL database every now and again. But I could definitely live in this world. Good morning, King Brownie. Good morning. Mark, thanks for holding it down in both places for us. Appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, I usually jump on stream around 7 in my country. Well, yeah, then maybe you don't. Maybe you guys don't practice daylight saving time where you are. Maybe that's why. I had a huge aha lately that when story pointing, I should look at the code itself and think about what has to change before estimating. You'd think that was more obvious. Well, I would think that would be step number 1 from a developer perspective. Are you making a joke or are you being dead ass? As the kids say. Because that to me seems very obvious, but I guess maybe I'm overestimating. Until now, dead serious. Until now, this has not been standard practice. Wow. Huh. Yeah, I guess to me that's what I would think most people would do. But so, what have you been doing? How do you decide how have you been story pointing or making estimates? Anyway, VLang is fun to use just for fun, although I prefer Dart. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not really in. I'm out of my learning programming languages mode at the moment, but maybe we'll come back around to a new language at some point. All right, so the first thing I'm going to fix is you'll notice here in the thread name, part of the thread name has the user IDs, which is annoying. So we need to strip that out. So let's figure out how to do that. So I think the best way to do that is going to be to do this. So we'll do, let's see, wherever we build the thread name, we're going to do var sanitized, or let's do content with names, or with user mentions removed. And then let's do I guess we assign content to that to start with. And then we have a list of the mentions here, which is an IEnumerable of Discord user. So we should be able to do for each var user in mentions. Let's do mention. Good morning. Happy to see you back. Wow, thanks, Delusional Dev. That's super nice of you to say. Yeah, I had a good trip. It was good. Got lots of family time in. Got to see my niece and nephew. It'd been a little bit since we saw them. Got to see my brother, his wife. It was a good trip. Anoob, hey, what are you building? Hello, Anoob. I'm not really building much of anything substantial. I'm just tinkering with my Discord bot. C#, fuck the world. I always say that. C# for the win. And for the win with C#. That's what you mean. I always read FTW as fuck the world. I don't know if that's a reflection more on me or on the abbreviation. Let's see, Dota. Before someone else writes the story, gives it to me, I give it a random estimate or tell them it's missing details and has to be redone. After, devs write the story, then go through the work together and figure out a pointing. Yeah, I could see that. I guess I just always thought that like that, how else would you come to an estimate if you didn't know what needed to be done to implement the feature? But I'm glad you guys have figured it out and come up with a better system. Oh, you're doing some bot for Discord? That looks awesome. Do you do that for experience or some tutorial? I intentionally missed Gemini as it's taboo now. Let's see. Do you do that for experience or some tutorial? No, yeah, we're just doing it for the fun of it. We use it in the. Right now it doesn't really do much in my Discord server, but I'd like to do other things with it in the Discord server. And this is like one of the first things I thought would be kind of fun is to hook it up to an LLM and give it the ability to like converse to some extent. Good morning, Inspire. Good to see you. Long time no see. Yeah, I was gone for a little while there, but I'm back. I'm back now. Gun Heist. No, I meant C# for the win and fuck the world with C#. Not confusing at all. Not confusing at all. Dota, I think my estimates were like, I've been in that code base. I vaguely understand the work. 5 points. Nice. Those were in the better cases. Well, I feel you, man. Story pointing. I personally don't understand story pointing. I think it's dumb as fuck. I mean, at the end of the day, what the question we're trying to answer is how much time does it take to do XYZ thing, right? That's what points are supposed to be like a some weird like pseudo proxy way to get to that place. Because at the end of the day, it all gets boiled back down into like, well, how much time did we take to implement this feature? And so my opinion on all this is goes back to like my food scientist days, where you just need to track the time it takes you to do tasks, and then you need to use some sort of statistical analysis to then project out how much time it would take you on average, plus or minus some standard deviation, to accomplish a task. Um, and so you start by just collecting data, doing your work and collecting data. Then you start to try to pattern match and bucket your tasks. So things that you've done that look the same as other things start to get bucketed. And then you just start analyzing that data and saying, okay, on average, it takes this amount of time plus or minus a certain number of hours or days to accomplish it. And then if that's unacceptable, then you can start having conversations of like, well, how do we make it take less time? Right. And then you put in place certain practices, and then you measure the outcomes and see, okay, is our average time plus or minus some standard deviation, is it faster now or is it the same? And you keep iterating that manner. I just don't understand. I don't understand the need to have like this secondary estimate system unit of measure. It just doesn't make sense to me. How was your time off? It was good. Did you have the insane fun? I don't necessarily know if I had the insane fun, but I had a lot of fun. My nephew is 2.5, which is like, if you're not a parent, then it's hard to explain. But like the time between like 0 and like 4 is some of the best time with little kids. Like it's just everything's an adventure, everything's fun. It's wonderful. Yeah, that was a blast. And my niece is like 3 months old, so that was a lot of fun getting to hold her. Nice username, man. Have you farted? Good morning, Kurt. Hello. Is it okay if I finish having a wank to your stream? Cheers. Nice. You wank it to whatever you'd like to wank it to. Have you farted? You live your life, okay? Dota, that's basically story pointing in a bit different words. Yeah, but that's the thing, is like it's not, the story pointing thing is just like intellectual masturbation. It's some dumbass person who's like, you know what? Instead of talking in the unit of measurement that everybody cares about, which is the amount of time it takes to do something, well, let's obscure it and abstract it to some unit of measure that no one really can explain or tangibly describe. It's really dumb. I don't believe in it. I think it's stupid. I think it's unnecessary. 1, 2, 3, 5. These are buckets of time frames to finish something. Yeah, but like, why do you need why do you have to represent time frames with 1, 2, 3, 5? Why can't you just say it takes me 8 hours? It takes me 10 hours. I don't understand it. I have a nephew and niece, twins, who are 4 now. Still remember the day they were born. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Twins is crazy. I feel for those. I feel for your. If I don't know if it's your brother or your sister, but I feel for whoever your family member is that had twins. Kurtz, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. The internet's weird, man. I mean, I don't judge what gets people off. I mean, everyone's allowed to have their own weird kinks. So if what gets you off is hanging out here, I guess you're free to do that. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, but you know, sexuality is a weird thing. My kid is 2.5 years old, and boy, is it a workout keeping up with him, dude. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun, delusional dev. It's like your kid turns 4, 5, 6 years old, and it's like that 5, 6 age, things just start to change a lot. Yeah, I like the rule of threes more. 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the need for all these rules and stuff. Like, you can just look at the data. Like, you can just measure the data and know. Like, I can just Dota, I can just have you, okay, do these tasks for a month, and I can just track your time, and I can collect that time, and then I can analyze it. I can even do Monte Carlo simulations if I want to generate more synthetic data. And then I can just do statistical analysis to figure out, okay, Dota 2 attitude takes plus or minus this amount of time on any given tasks. And then if I want to slice that data differently, if I want to slice it based on how long it takes them to implement a new CRUD form, or if I want to, how long does it take them to implement some new API endpoint? Like I can slice the data up that way and look at it from that perspective. But to me, it just seems wholly dumb to do it any other way, in my perspective. Inspire, and it has its own ups and downs. They don't need to spend double effort in a lot of things, merging stuff half the time. Hold on, what were we talking about? I don't know what that was in reference to. I may have missed a message there. I believe in it enough now. I'd like to try using velocity. Yeah, I don't. Again, it's just like, like make it easy, you know. All right, so we need to do content with user mentions removed. So we need to do content with user mentions removed dot replace mention dot id, and then just replace with an empty string. Let's see, calls replace, but does not use the new string instance the method returns. Past the instance has a method overload. Oh, that's fine. We'll do this. Let's do string.empty, and then string, or sorry, what is it? String comparison. Oops. I think it's string comparison dot. Yeah. Now I need to reassign this, don't I? So let's do content. Okay, and then here, instead of taking it from that, we do this. And then let's do mention. We need to do var mention text equals, what did that text was like? Let's see, I think it's the ID of the user, angle bracket, at, okay, so let's do mention text equals this, mention.id, mention text. So I basically just want to remove all the mentions from the content before I get the content I want. So let's do that over here. We need to do all the checks here. So let's do checks down here. So after we remove the mentions, we do that. And then all this logic should be based on content now. This. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, so let's give this a try. Let's do .NET Run Worker. Very nice sealed class. Yeah, that's my defensive driving. I try to seal everything by default until I have a reason to make it unsealed. You know? Good defensive driving. Or should I say defensive coding? That's probably more accurate way to describe it. We are connected. So let's say app bot playground. Yo, what it do, bruh? There we go. It removed it. Cool. So I wonder if there's a way I can avoid. I wonder if there's a way I can do this without necessarily. I don't care for this bit of code. If I'm being completely honest. Yeah, don't care for it, but it serves the purpose. All right, so that's problem number 1 solved. Now what else do I want to fix? So the other thing I want to do is, right now, if you try to @ the bot again here, yo, you there? It's gonna try to run the handler, and it's gonna break. Yep. So here you go. What it'll say. It'll say in here somewhere why it broke. Localhost 51. No. There we go. Defensive driven development. There you go. Good morning, Blackfire. Sorry I missed you slide in there. Also, I tried Zig. Let me Zig pill you, Steven? Sure. I'm halfway there to giving Zig a chance. I just haven't sat down to actually try it yet. But it's definitely on my radar. So feel free to try to convince me further. Good nice. Love your cup. Does it hold charge for long? It does, yeah. It does hold a good charge. And then it also has a plate. So like it obviously has a charge plate. So when I'm at my desk, I don't know if I can't. I guess I can hook it. So it comes with like a coaster looking thing that charges it. So most of the time when I'm at my desk, I just leave it on the coaster. But yeah, it'll hold a charge. Couldn't recommend it enough. If you need a mug and you're interested in a mug, this is not a sponsored recommendation, although I would love to be sponsored. Here is, let's see. If you need a great mug for your coffee, you should grab one of these. I wonder if they have like a contact form on here. You think they have a contact form? No, I guess not. Be like, yo, sponsor me, bro. Okay, so you can see this message says cannot execute action on this channel type. So we need to add a little bit of discriminating to our handler that basically says if you're not coming from a public channel, we don't want to do this stuff. So right here we have a couple checks. So right now we check to see if the event is a particular type and if the message is a particular type. And we also check to see if the message mentions our bot. So we need to add another check in here about the thread, or no, the channel. So we need to have some sort of thing to get the message channel. And we'll have to call the Discord API to do that. So we'll say REST client, and maybe we'll do like get channel async, and then we'll want to pass in the channel ID, right? And then we'll want to check, we'll want to say if message channel dot is channel type, and then we'll want to pass in whatever the type is. And they have a list of types that we can look at. Discord API channel types. Hey, what's up, DD Pro Alone? Good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for being a member. Appreciate you. Good morning, Hellbending. How you been, man? I missed some streams. Oh yeah, no worries at all, man. I hope you've had a awesome time while you've been away from streams. Good to see you. I've been good. Same old, same old. Just living life. Gun High's interesting. Convenient? It is very convenient. It's a wonderful mug. What do you think of the market right now? I see pre-market trading. It's down again. My impression is it's a good time to be buying / holding. I think it's always a good time to be buying / holding, Dota. That's just my opinion. Obviously, that's a very specific view of the world, obviously, right? But yeah, I'm a buy and hold investor when it comes to stock. I think I think one of the things that I think is super interesting about the market right now, particularly in the US, is the reaction to the war in Iran. Like, it seems to be that most people think that the war is still going to be short-lived and end relatively soon based on based on how the market's trading, which is interesting. I guess what people are betting on is that Trump gets cold feet because of oil prices and will look to take an early off ramp soon. But I'm not necessarily sure that's the case. I think we just sent a bunch of Marines, and I think the Department of Defense, or the Department of, what is it, Department of War now, they are asking Congress for like $200 billion. So I'm not sure. So it's interesting because on the surface it looks like the war is not going to end very quickly, but in the markets it looks like it will. So there's a disconnect there. Dota, I don't know. Trump is saying one thing and doing another, which is standard for him. Yes, it is. It is very standard for him. Yeah, it is very standard for him, and it makes it very hard. It makes it very hard to figure out. It makes it very hard to figure out what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? Let's see, a temporary sub channel, a voice channel, a text channel within a guild. So I think I'm just looking for this. Guild text is what I'm looking for.
Did we just become best friends?
Forklift Joe, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Hellbending, I got 2 interviews. First one was a no-go, but just completed a take-home for the second one. Tomorrow, I think, is follow-up and technical for it. Well, congratulations, Hellbending. That's awesome. You hear so many people talking about how terrible it is to get a job. you know. So that's awesome for you. And I think it's very encouraging for other people too to hear stuff like that. So thank you very much for sharing that. And I wish you the best. I hope one of them works out. Guild text. Message channel. I think I already have a channel somewhere here. Channel, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement this. Get channel async. Go to that definition. This will return Discord channel ID. Then we need to go implement it. So let's go to implementation. Oh, whoops. We also need cancellation token. Cancellation token. See you, DD Pro. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good day, man. 490 to 413. Wow. Oh, wow. Gold dropped 19% from a local peak. Wow. Which just, I guess, points more to the fact that people, for whatever, think that the current state of the world is going to be a temporary thing. I don't know. I personally don't think right now, I'm not super optimistic that it's going to be a temporary thing myself, but I mean, Trump has waffled and tacoed on things before, so. This is default. Okay, so we need to do async task Discord channel, and we're calling this get channel async, and this is going to take string, which is going to be channel ID, cancellation token, like that. Huh. Anywho, now how do we get this? So we need to basically follow the same type of paradigm that we've got going on here. Let's see, create message async. Yeah, this one. That. See you, gun highs. Have fun at your meetings. It's a rush job too. Ooh, a rush job. That seems like it's a pretty unique thing to find these days. Zobtastic. Hey, what do you think of the CS59 Harvard online course? I'm going through it at the moment. Do you think it's a good base for coding? I think CS50 is great. I don't think I've ever heard of CS59. Maybe that was just a typo. CS59 Harvard? Yeah, if you're talking about CS50, I think it's a wonderful course. I've gone through it myself too. Um, my favorite part of CS50, honestly, is just listening to David Malin present. I think he is such a good lecturer. So yeah, I think it's a wonderful course. I found the fastest way to learn was to find a genuine problem to solve that involves code, then work towards fixing it. I love that advice. That's wonderful advice. My opinion was gold was way overbought. Last year it gained like 50%. It's not really that kind of asset. The only thing I love this sentence. The only thing I'm certain of is I have no idea what I'm talking about, and timing the market like that is probably stupid. Because that's exactly how I feel. Um, I think it's fun to follow the market. I think it's fun to follow current events, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'm smart enough to actually make money doing it. So I just invest in the total stock market index and hold on to it for a long period of time.
Did we just become best friends?
Ray, good. Thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate that. They had a course on Python, and my God, I hated it. I think JavaScript has been the most enjoyable so far. I just hate using the terminal. That's okay. You don't have to use the terminal. There's a lot of folks who don't work primarily in the terminal. Especially for somebody who really enjoys C sharp. Most C sharp devs don't live in the terminal. Most C sharp devs live in the IDE, and that's okay. You don't have to be a terminal focused developer. You use the tools and the workflows that work for you. You know. And it's also totally okay if you don't fuck with Python. I don't really. I know it's a great language. I know a lot of people like it. It's just not really something that I've come to enjoy. So if you don't enjoy it, that's okay. There's lots of other programming languages, and JavaScript is one of them. So I would just I would just encourage you to follow the thing that makes you feel like doing more of the thing, if that makes sense. So find a language and find a tool chain and find a workflow that gets you excited to code, to build stuff, and continue to chase that. Don't follow things just because the internet tells you you need to do it. Hello, James. Good to see you again. You're a Windows user, I assume. Have a mate that also despises using the terminal until he also started using Linux systems. I never found it too bad once you use PowerShell. It's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really start most of my development time in a terminal. I've migrated more and more to the terminal recently, just with the whole NeoVim side quest. But yeah, I'm not very dogmatic about any of this shit. Like I just think if you enjoy writing code, you enjoy programming, you enjoy solving problems like that, just find whatever tool chain gets you excited to do more of it, and stick with that. Oh, have you farted is still here. Yeah, it was a typo. Oh yeah, no worries at all. Hello from Greenland. Please tell your supreme leader to not attack. I wish I had a direct line of communication to Mr. Trump, President Trump, because I have quite a few words to express to him. I would be, but I don't. So I can't pass along your message. Very good. What are you working on? I am working on. So I have this Discord I built last year. Sorry, I have this Discord bot that I built last year, and it doesn't really do a ton. And so I decided I would spend a little bit of time tinkering on it. One of the first things I wanted to do with it is basically give it a voice or a personality by hooking it up to a large language model. I thought that would be kind of fun. So that's what I'm doing right now. James, just use Kona or Panda. I don't think I know what either of those things are. Kona, that's a type of coffee, isn't it? And Panda is a mammal. A cute mammal. Kiko Shadow, what are you working on in this stream? We are just working on tinkering with my Discord bot. That's what we're working on at the moment. Dota, follow the passion. Exactly. If you do stuff that makes you, if you find what makes you want to code more, then you'll code more, and the more you code, the better you get, and then it just turns into kind of a flywheel. So I think that's why it's important to like not let the AI tech bros tell you how you should live your life. Good morning, Emperor Grizzly. For Python, I love using Marimo notebooks. Way better than Jupyter or Colab. I don't think I've ever heard of that type of notebook. The only notebook I've ever used is a Jupyter notebook. Very good. You most likely will use the terminal the more you progress, or at least it's easier. I could see that. I could see that. But like personally, coming from like a C sharp world, there's people who have been writing code for 20, 30 years, and they primarily spend all their time in an IDE. So I think a lot of it has to do with the domain you work in, the type of work you do, the programming language you work with, the type of applications you build. I think that dictates a lot of where you spend your time. Forklift Joe, loving this stream, found it on YouTube Shorts. Really enjoyed the way you approach coding and the AI front, watching all the way from New Zealand. Well, thanks for stopping by, Forklift Joe. I'm glad you're here. I love the username, and hopefully things are going well for you in New Zealand. There's a gentleman named Bradley who lives in Australia that sometimes stop by the stream, so he's down there in your neck of the woods. Kiko, oh wow, that's nice. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do. It just, an excuse to tinker is what it is. Interesting. Building a MCP server currently, so relevant. Nice. Yeah, MCP servers are cool. I built one of those. JS is based. It escaped the browser and became a mess. Although I think, James, a lot of people would argue that it was a mess even when it was in the browser. Let's see, my current issue is I have so many projects I want to work on, but after work I've used up all my brain power and time. This is a real thing. I think that's one of the benefits of streaming in the mornings is basically I have like the freshest energy to work on the things I want to work on for my own personal projects, and then I go to work, right? And so then after work, even if I don't feel like doing more, which usually I still do, but if I don't, then I know I've already accomplished like 1 or 2 hours worth of tinkering in the morning. Do you mean the terminal in the IDE or just in the IDE with GUI stuff? I just mean in the IDE with GUI stuff. I think a lot of people who develop in a Visual Studio-esque way are using GUI stuff. Like I would guarantee most people who are doing C# dev in Visual Studio do not use the terminal to manage Git stuff. They just use the Git GUI that's in Visual Studio, right? Like that's what I mean by like they don't live in the terminal, or their workflow isn't very terminal centric. Same to you, D. Top of the morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hellbending, you know anything about image processing that you would be to share, or big if viable, would you or anyone be open to double checking my implementations? I do not know anything about image processing. I did a little bit of image processing for a background removal tool I built, but I'm not sure that's exactly what you're talking about. But the only image processing I did in that was just like iterating over pixels. Most of the specs said high performance plus memory efficiency plus readability. Yeah, I don't think I'm your guy. I don't think I'm your guy. But maybe somebody in chat, or maybe someone in the Discord might be able to help you. Let's see, Discord channel, Git channel. Get a channel by ID returns a channel object. If the channel is a thread member object is included in the return result. And then the type of the channel. So I'm looking for a text channel within a server. So this is what I'm looking for. Guild text 0. And okay. So let's go ahead and implement that. Like so. And this does not need a post. This is just a get. Remove this guy. What is it? No, DWI? DIW? There you go. See, failed not to get thread, failed to, or not create, get thread. Failed to get thread. We want to deserialize to Discord channel. Failed to deserialize channel response. Okay. And then we return that. Wonderful. Now, why is this grayed out? There we go. So then if we go back to our handler here, hopefully, oh, yep. And then we need to add the type. So I don't think right now our channel has a, let's see, Discord channel. And we need to add a type property here. Type. But I think this is a 0. Or sorry, not a 0. I think this is an int. Go back to the Discord docs. Let's see. We need to look at the channel object. Type is an integer. Yep. So we have type int, string. That'll work. And then let's go to our Discord message. Because we want to copy, or is it Discord event? Message, create, event. That is message type. So we want the same kind of idea. Honestly, sorry, hold on. I gotta blow my nose. All right, that's better. Good morning, Ryan. We're just tinkering with the Discord bot today. Nothing crazy. My personal finance app is still running, and I think it's going to end up costing me 30 cents, is what I think it's going to end up costing me. But I'm basically kind of waiting to see how my invoice looks at the end of this month before I do anything more with the personal finance app. So in the meantime, we're tinkering. Matthew, I just got myself a starter electronic kit. After I study it, I will most likely turn it into a 3D printer. Nice. That sounds like a ton of fun. There's a Mark Roberg, Roberg, Mark Rober launched a subscription box called Hack Pack, I think is what it's called, and I'd really like to try my hand at it. I've not done much with hardware or embedded systems or IoT or anything like that, so I'd like to try that out at some point. Let's see, in hellbending, in this case, it is manually converting an image to grayscale and then taking 3 images and turning them into a 3 layer. So I guess I've done the image to grayscale before. That was part of how I built my background removal tool, was basically generating a mask and then masking out the background of an image. So maybe some of that code would be helpful to you. It's all written in C# and most of it's using some libraries. But I'm happy to link it to you if you'd find that helpful. It's on my GitHub too. You can just search for, if you go to my GitHub and you search for BGR, it'll pop up. Let's see. I was a huge IDE user when I started. Then I joined a team that only used Vim bindings. Some in terminal and in editor they used to disconnect the mouse, and it was tough in the beginning. Looking back was a blessing to be stretched. Not moved to NeoVim for person, just Vim bindings for work and IDE. I don't want to focus team members to use Vim if they are not comfortable. Yeah, I don't think people have to use Vim motions, for sure. I personally like Vim motions, and I have Vim motions now set up in all the places where I write code, but I don't think people necessarily need to learn it. The whole disconnecting the mouse thing, though, this is something that I've tried like 3 times myself, and I usually make it about 10 minutes and then I stop. And the reason for that is, like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but so many websites are terrible for keyboard navigation. So I guess if you never have to leave your terminal ever, or you never have to interact with an application or a website that isn't really built for a keyboard, the mouse thing is possible to execute, but in my workflow, it's very, very difficult in all the times I've tried it. Ryan, 30 cents? That's awesome. Yeah, so basically, from what I understand, the way Plaid charges you is it's per connected account. So if you connect an account, they charge you 30 cents to have that account connected. So we'll see if that bears out right now. So that's basically what I have set up right now in this little experiment. So we'll see if that holds true. But when I looked at their pricing, that's how they describe it, is 30 cents per connected account. There are some particular API endpoints where if you call those API endpoint, they charge you on like a separate request basis. But if you just use kind of their standard transaction sync flow, then it's just a per account. Well, and that's also confusing to me, is I don't know if it's per account or per connected. I think it's per connected item, if I remember right. Let me see if I can pull it up. I finally found the page where they actually spell it out for me. Took me a minute to find it, but I found it. Because I know this was something we talked about when we originally were building that app. I think some of us thought it was going to be like 30 cents a request. And so I think some of us, when we originally talked about this like a month ago, we were all kind of worried that this was going to end up becoming not financially viable. Let's see. Yeah. So here are the rates for my free my free tier. So I'm using their transactions product. And eventually I'm going to end up using, I think I'm going to end up using the liabilities product and the investments product too. I think when it's all said and done. But you can see it's 30 cents per connected account. I'm not using the recurring transactions. This one I'm not using. And I don't know if connected account means like the individual bank account or connected account means like the institution. So for example, if I'm connected to Capital One and I have 10 accounts, right? Is that 30 times 10 or is that 30 times 1? I don't know. So that's why I'm running this experiment to kind of figure it out based on what they invoice me at the end of this month. And then we'll go from there. It would be awesome if it was per like connected institution. That would be even more cost effective. But even at 30 cents, so let's see, I spend $15 a month right now on YNAB. So 15 divided by 30, what is that, 50 accounts? And I probably have far fewer than that. So I think it'll end up being a net savings once I get it all finalized. I think I'll end up saving some amount of money. I'm not sure how much. We'll see. It's been a fun project though. But in the meantime, we're tinkering on the Discord bot. I definitely thought it was going to be the 30 cents per request. That's what I thought too. Well, if you look at this, it does say if you refresh transactions. So if you do manually call, they have like a refresh endpoint. If you do manually call that a lot, it does charge you 12 cents per successful call. So that could get expensive, but I'm not calling this manually. So that's good. This is probably why in a lot of applications that you use like YNAB or Mint or Credit Karma, this is probably why they don't allow you to like force refresh because of this cost. I'm guessing this is pretty similar across most of the data providers, if I had to guess. But yeah, 12 cents per API request. That's an expensive API request. Good morning, Bob. Good to see you. Very good. How do you feel about Europe trying to detach itself from American software now that you guys have been the main players for decades? I think it's cool, man. I think I'm all for there being like hyper local versions of software. Like I don't think there needs to be like this global monopoly on software. So I think I saw somebody was trying to in the EU. Somebody was trying to recreate. I forget what it was called. Let's see, EU software. I'm not saying they're cloning it, but that's just what I'm using to search. I saw a news story where somebody was trying in the EU was trying to recreate some particular US SaaS product. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, go for it. I think the more competition the better, right? Especially if countries value different things, right? Like the EU has taken data privacy far more serious than the US. So I think it makes sense for EU companies then to use EU-based software providers, right? That care about those same things. So I say go for it. I say go for it. Matthew, I like it because it's C, C++, which I'm currently studying in college, but the ability to understand chips, power voltage, PCB design, I laugh at stuff like the Rick and Morty Butterbot. I don't know that reference. But yeah, it seems like a wonderfully valuable use of time to learn more about hardware. So I'm very much excited to hear how your journey goes. It's kind of bothering that this is here. Okay, so we have Discord message reference type, Discord message. So where is the type defined? You are in discord.gateway.events. Interesting. Wonder why we put you there. I'm going to put it, so we're going to do Discord channel types. And let's just copy this, and let's go here. Correct the namespace. Discord channel types, and then we'll do guild text. That, and this equals 0. And we'll come back to the handlers. Inaccessible. We will make it accessible. I spun up my first H100, which was cool. What is an H100? Is that something AI related? H100. Oh, it's a GPU? What did you do with it? And who did you spin it up with? What provider? How much does one of these things cost? How much, let's see, how much does an H100 GPU cost? Oh, you know, just a cool 25,000. I mean, dude, that's crazy. RunPod, I was training an AI, costed $2. Huh. RunPod. Scalable GPU compute. Interesting. Well, I don't have need of this myself at the moment, but that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see, let's declare the method there. And then all we have to do is we just say type, and then we'll just say return type equals type. Cool. So now what we're saying is we're only going to respond to tagged messages where my bot is mentioned, and no, we're only going to respond to messages that are the default type, that are for a guild text channel, and where my bot is mentioned. So now, hopefully, if we restart our application, RunPod is pretty sweet. I've never used them. I've never heard of them before. Yeah, I haven't gone very far down the training my own AI rabbit hole, but maybe that's a rabbit hole we could go on stream, you know? We could all take that road trip together. Go on a little side quest. Alright, let's try this again. So if I do something like this, at bot playground, yo, bruh. Hopefully, we ignore it. Yep, it looks like we did, so that's good. And then let's make sure we didn't break anything. So let's go back here and say, at bot, do you know what RunPod is? Awesome, it does. I do know what RunPod is. RunPod is a cloud computing platform. I wish I could expand this more. I wish I could just collapse the sidebar. Let's see. I do know what RunPod is. RunPod is a cloud computing platform that specializes, yada, yada, yada. Cool. That works. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is I want to, you know how like when you're typing in Discord, it'll often give you like an indicator that like somebody is typing a message back, you know? So I want to do that with the bot too. So whenever somebody tags it like this, I want it to display at the bottom like bot playground is typing, right? So let's figure out how we do that. I guess we're probably going to need to wrap this in like a try finally. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to do this. Let's see, Discord, gateway, start typing events. Typing, start, there we go. User started typing. Sent when a user starts typing in a channel. Oh no, that's a receiving it. But I wanna, how do I send that? Like typing start. So these are all receive events. I want send events. Send events. Send events are gateway events sent by an app to Discord, like when identifying the gateway. There's got to be a way to do this. Update sent by the client to indicate a presence or status. Oh, so I wonder if I do it through the presence. Online. Let's see, status. Nope, that's not it. Maybe I have to do it through the REST API? I don't know. Let's see if Gemini knows. Yo, bro. Yo, bro. How do you make a Discord bot appear like it is typing using the Discord API. Please don't fucking tell me about discord.js. Using Discord API. Let's see if we can figure it out. NVIDIA did just vibe coded their drivers. Hold on, what? Let me back up here. Hold on. What you making? We're just fucking around with my Discord bot. That could be a fun adventure, but it costs money, and Steven doesn't like spending money from what I hear. Oh, dude, I hate spending money. I hate it, but we could use some of the AdSense. Like maybe we take like a month's worth of AdSense, which is roughly like $100 right now, and use that to train an AI. Or I guess we're not gonna. I guess we wouldn't train a model. I guess we would just fine tune a model. That's probably all I could afford to do, right? But might be interesting. I'm looking at getting a 5060 Ti for my own ML compute instance. My laptop's 4050 ANIT, and cloud compute scares me. One mistake and I'm out $100. Yeah, this is a real fear I have. And that is why I don't really host anything in any cloud providers, because I have a big fear of like getting a really large bill. NVIDIA did just vibe code their drivers. Is this a true statement? Is there like, are you just fucking around, or is this true? NVIDIA really did vibe code their drivers. Is that like something that's been reported? You could fine tune a model pretty cheap. Yeah, so maybe that's what we do. Maybe we explore fine tuning or something. I've never done it before, so I would love to actually do it once or twice. Let's see, the Discord API uses the following structure to trigger the typing indicator. How it works. Interesting. So are you saying you cannot use the gateway API to do this? I fine-tuned a small model on RunPod for a couple bucks. Good experience. Yeah, see, I think that'd be fun to do. Yeah, I've never done that. And maybe, Bob, you could guide me as I try to figure it out. Okay, so we do need to use the REST API. So let's go and see what this looks like. Duplicate tab. Typing. There we go. Post a typing indicator for the specified channel, which expires after 10 seconds. Returns a 200 empty response on success. Fires a typing start gateway event. Generally, bots should not use this route. However, if a bot is responding to a command and expects that computation to take a few seconds, this endpoint may be called to let the user know that the bot is processing their message. Okay, so generally you're not supposed to use it, but I am going to use it. So, because we are talking to a large language model, so I feel like it probably makes sense to do this. So let's do go to implementation. Let's go over here and say public async task start typing async. We need a string, which is going to be our channel ID. You need a cancellation token. If I could spell cancellation, I've really struggled spelling cancellation this morning. Give this a default. Okay. And then we're just going to follow our same pattern here, where this is going to be, this is going to be our typing endpoint, like that. Let's go ahead and paste this in here. this should be channel ID. Okay, typing endpoint. This is not a get though. This is a post. Post async. Cannot convert from system.uri to string. Cannot convert from cancellation token. Well, what if I just do null here? Okay. I don't think there's any content. Is there content? Yeah, there's no content. So we'll just do null. We'll post as async. If it's unsuccessful status code, we will just log and say failed to start typing in channel. And let's do channel ID, like that. Oops. Why are these highlighted? What have I done? Huh. Not sure what I've done there. Hello, Mike. Hi, it's evening here in the Philippines. Well, it is morning here in the United States. So I hope you're doing well, Mike. Bro, Eid Mubarak, Stephen. What does that mean? Eid? Eid? Let's see, I use Linux too, but only distros with compatibility with NVIDIA. I work in ML, so that's basically a requirement. Nice. Well, it's nice to have somebody in the stream who works in machine learning, because I know very little. Oh, nice. It's an Arabic greeting. Very cool. From what I hear, they did. I use Vulkan since I am Linux. Not 100% sure, though. Interesting. Well, if they did, what's this message about? Thank you for using GitHub Copilot. Your subscription, something. Oh, it's just because I canceled my subscription? I guess I probably need to. Let's see. Your subscription has ended. Yes, I know it has ended. I canceled it. Well, I guess I need to remove that plugin, huh? Or disable the plugin. How do you disable a plugin? Let's see, NeoVim, disable GitHub, or just disable a plugin. Let's see, lazy. Add this line to disable the plugin. Okay, that's pretty easy. Edit NeoVim. Oh man, will you please stop with that? Dismiss. So I guess I just need to set this to enabled equals false. That. Okay, now try this. Now hopefully we don't get that warning anymore. Cool. Copilot has been forever silenced. Just add enabled equals false under the URL thing. Well, thank you, Hellbenny. You told me exactly what Google told me. But I trust you even more than I trust Google. What were we doing? I think we were in the REST client. we were implementing a way to start typing, right? Yeah. So public start typing async. Failed to start typing in channel. Need the channel ID. Failed to create message. Nope. Failed to start typing. And then let's remove the deserialization call. We don't need this anymore. We don't need to do that. I think that's all we need to do. So that just starts a 10-second thing. So let's copy this. Let's go to the interface. Let's add that. We don't need this. We need to do this. Looks right. Okay, and then now if we come back to our handler, tagged message handler. Now, where does it make the most sense to do this? I think we should start the typing, I guess, whenever we know. So bot tagged in message. So that's probably where we should start the typing. So we should say await Discord REST client dot start typing async, pass along the cancellation token and the channel ID, right? So we'll do message channel dot ID. Okay. Now I'm wondering, I should probably, since I am fetching the message channel, I'm wondering, should I be using that? I mean, these should theoretically be the same thing, you know? I'm gonna use that. mcde dot data dot channel ID. All right, let's test it. Restart this guy. Hey guys, I was just wondering, how could I start coding? What software is the best to use, and what are the best ways to learn and get started? So Toby, I have a very vanilla answer to this. It's not super sexy. It's not very exotic. My vanilla answer is just to do, let's see, Toby. Where are you? Toby. Go over to Free Code Camp and give them a try. That's where I send everybody. My son actually just started learning how to code over spring break, and that's where we started, was Free Code Camp. So that's, if it's good enough for my son, it's probably good enough for anybody else who's starting to code. All right, moment of truth. Does C# have discriminated unions? Okay, so something. So I did not see. Do you think it's because I'm too zoomed in or something? I did not see a typing indicator. So did we actually call? Did we call it? That's the question. There should be... Responded to tag message, responded to tag message. Let's see, bot tagged in message. Received HTTP response. So I think that was, yeah, I think that was the response. Okay. So it does look like it succeeded. Yeah, it succeeded, but I didn't see it in the UI. I don't know why I didn't see that in the UI. Let's see, let's try again. It should show up like down at the bottom, right? How does it show up? Will one of you guys in the Discord server start typing so I can see what it shows up like? Is anyone here? All right, thank you so much. My wife got me a new Mac for, yeah, there you go. So it should show up right at the top. Okay, cool. Thank you. Was testing something for the stream. Okay, so we should see it at the top if it works. So at bot playground, are you there? Huh, it's not showing up for me. That's weird. Is there something else I need to... Post a typing indicator for the specified channel, which expires after 10 seconds. So Toby got a new MacBook? That's awesome, dude. It's got more RAM than I know what to do with, so I'm trying to make the most of it. That's awesome, Toby. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, man. Yeah, you'll crush it. Yeah, I mean, any of the advice everybody gave, I saw the advice about Python and PyCharm. I think that sounds like a great advice. YouTube has wonderful tutorials. Obviously, I think AI can be very useful to learn from. I think Toby, my only advice with currently the whole AI, with the state of software engineering, is just be careful with the AI. Like, it's very easy for you to fall down a rabbit hole with AI where you think you're learning and you think you know what you're talking about and you have this really inflated sense of ability, but you're just heavily dependent on using a large language model. So if it was me, I wouldn't even touch AI when it comes to coding at all. If you're learning, you can use it to ask questions, but even that, I think you have to be really intentional to avoid just like consuming information but not like integrating information. Like, I find when I watch people use AI to code, they end up asking the LLM for the same piece of information like over and over and over and over again. So it's like there's something about asking AI for an answer and going and finding the answer yourself through research that leads to different like retention. It's almost like handwriting notes in a lecture versus typing notes in a lecture. There's just for whatever reason, you seem to retain what you handwrite more than what you type. So that would be my only advice. I watched someone set up OpenClaw for Discord and it does the typing thing, so I know it's possible. Yeah, it should be possible. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. I'm not sure why it's showing up. Too much RAM, open 3 Electron apps, bro. So what you're saying is Electron is shitty. Or maybe not shitty, but very memory hungry. Let's see. Discord typing indicator not working. FBQ, what you describing is the new tutorial hell. Pretty much the same symptom, dude. I've been saying that in a lot of shorts and on a lot of streams, but it is. It really is. AI is the new tutorial hell. And I understand, like, people have pushed back on me so hard about that because they're basically like, well, you know, now that everybody has access to a large language model all the time, it like, what's the problem with that? And to me, I still see it as a problem. I don't know, but that might just be a me thing, you know. Like as a, I just also also I like how everybody today assumes that everybody has access to inference and large language models because I don't think that everyone does. Large language models are actually pretty expensive, especially if you're going to use them to actually do a lot of questioning and a lot of answering and a lot of coding. Like it's actually very expensive, right? Um, let's just see. Like, what does the average person in the world make for an annual salary? The average global annual salary is roughly $18,000. So let's do median, because that's still, I mean, that's again, that's really low. The median annual salary globally is roughly $1,000 to $1,500 per month. Just under 18,000. Okay, so that's the same answer. So let's say you're making $18,000 a year, and someone's trying to get you to spend $200 on a Claude Pro Max plan. What is that? $200 divided by 1,800. So people want you to spend 1% of your annual income on access to a large language model. I just don't think that that's affordable. Like for the vast majority of people, that's just not affordable. If you're living on $18,000 a year, like, oh no, that's not even right because that's $200 a month. So this would actually be 200 times 12. Yeah, so that's 10% of your annual salary. Like, see, that's not affordable. I'm sorry. I think that's just where tech bros are completely disconnected from the reality most people live. Like, this is not affordable. King Browdy, multiple Gmail accounts equal multiple Gemini instances for free. Yeah, but even that I don't think is going to get you very far. I don't think that's going to take you very far. Also, the open source models are pretty good. I've been using Nemo super lately, and it's been better agentically, the Gemini 3.1 Pro. Interesting. But this also, I'm guessing, means, King Brownie, you're running on some very expensive hardware, right? If you're having good experience with open source models, it means you probably have access to good hardware. So I'm guessing you're not one of the people who's making $18,000 a year. So I think people are wholly disconnected from what's affordable for most people. I use AI a lot, and I suggest against using it if you want to learn to code. Nice, James. Well, I think that's good advice. That would be how I would approach it. I'm making my son hand type character by character. Is Visual Studio Code a good software to start off with, or am I better off with something else? Visual Studio Code's fine. I'm a big fan of Visual Studio Code, and I'm a big fan of the team that makes Visual Studio Code. So go for it. Nah, just open code, not self-hosting yet. Want to buy it? I gross 24K a year. So you gross 24K a year. And how much are you spending on inference? Are you spending 10% of your salary on inference? Hellbending. There's like 50 plus free models via Open Router. Takes literally 5 minutes to set up, and you have infinite AI. Is this a factual statement? King Brownie 0 on inference, all free. Interesting. Huh. This is very interesting to me. So is the way you're doing that is through multiple Gmail accounts? Yeah, it's real. Interesting. Hold on, I gotta see this Open Router thing. Open Router. So you're saying there's free inference here. How do I see your pricing? Okay, so here we go. Free tier. Platform fees not applicable. Models. 25 plus free models. 4 free providers. You can only make 50 requests a day? Hold on. Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'm sorry guys, but you guys are out here telling me that you can get everything you need to get done in this agentic first world with 50 requests per day? Nemotron, but there's a rate limit, 50 requests per day. So how are you? I don't understand. Let's see, really just 2 Gmail accounts, and I use Open Router if I want something open source. Usually just use the free built-in models that are. I've made way more than 50 per day. Interesting. So they're not enforcing this. Huh. All right, let's try this. I'm just curious now. I'm just curious if they just like do are those just like soft limits? Now I'm super curious. Good morning, Pablo. Free models do have low requests per day. Yeah, so but what these guys were telling me in chat is that they're getting unlimited usage of these models on the free tier. Are we talking in chat? Or are we talking, guys? Are you using Open Router over the API, or are you using their chat interface? Also, why do they not have a dark mode? Oh, they do. There we go. Pablo, no way. Yeah, that's what I'm called. The free Nemo tree is rate limited per minute, and they collect all your data for training. Oh, interesting. Just don't spam it. Hand code primarily. Call an AI when necessary. Huh? I don't know. You guys are telling me something that I'm having a hard time believing, just based on my understanding of the economics of how much inference costs, and so this idea that somehow you guys are getting away with like Claude Pro Max level usage, I'm skeptical of it. So I'm not trying to call you liars. I'm just skeptical. It sounds to me like maybe you're not using it as much as I perceive other people are using AI. Let's see. I'm gonna try to. I'm just curious if I know this is a complete sidetrack, but like obviously if you can get free inference, well, I'll just hook up my Discord bot to this thing and get unlimited free inference. Let's see. How do I get API keys. API keys. There we go. Let's call this rate limit testing. Okay. Oh crap. they have one of those API key systems where they never show you the API key again. Delete. Okay. Create. Let's see. Rate limit testing. No expiration. Yeah, no expiration. That's fine. Rate limit testing. Create. Copy. Oh, they literally say that. They say, please copy it now. Write it down somewhere safe. You'll not be able to see it again. That's funny. It would help if I read the instructions. Let's see. Open router rate limiting test API key. Save. Okay. And I'm guessing they have probably an SDK, right? Open router SDK. Where did I hear about this? I heard about it from chat. I heard about it on YouTube from chat. Continue. Alright. So they have Python and they have Go. Oh, they have a Go one. Oh, no, they don't. That's coming soon. So they just have TypeScript and Python. Well, you know what I'm doing. Let's see. I use a TUI called AI Chat Bro. It has a web server too, everything. Oh, that's cool. A TUI? That's very cool. Let's see. For a while you could use. Nope, I read that one. Nah, I probably only used it a few times a day. Ah, interesting. Okay. So I guess your guys' usage is not as high as I was thinking. From my experience, the free models aren't as reliable and they eventually disappear. You hear, yo. But even if you pay for OpenRouter, you can get some super cheap inference. Let's see, I think it's compatible with OpenAI's completion API, like most things these days. Nice. All right, well, maybe I'll battle test it a little bit. I mean, it might be cool to be able to like for the Discord bot itself, it might be interesting to just like use several different providers to maximize our free inference usage. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I overestimated how much y'all were using it. But I guess going back to my original assertion, right, when this whole conversation was started, was that people pretend that, like, for example, everybody is saying that software engineering is dead and that everyone's writing AI everyone's writing code using AI now, right? Okay, well, most of the tools that I see that people are using to write code are wrapped in very sophisticated harnesses. And so there is a lot of token usage in and out and a lot of API requests in and out. So to me, I don't understand how somebody who makes $18,000 annually is supposed to follow that kind of a workflow, because I don't think it's affordable, and I don't think the free inference that's available on things like OpenRouter or Gemini are enough for you to actually execute on that type of a workflow. So I kind of call bullshit on the fact that everyone is using AI now to write code, or that it's even possible that everybody can use AI to write code, because I don't think it's affordable for the vast majority of the human population. Like, I don't think that's possible. Like I said, if you make $18,000 a year and you want to sign up for a Gemini Pro whatever plan and a Claude Pro whatever plan, you're talking about 10% of your annual income a year That's or 10% of your annual. That's years already implied there, Steven. That doesn't seem affordable. 200 is not that bad, but I think when we say 200 is not that bad, yeah. But you're speaking probably as somebody who makes a lot more money, right? The median salary for a human on planet Earth is $18,000 a year. So yeah, I think in the end, if you're not earning freely, fairly well, you are basically losing money. Yeah, I mean it's one thing if your company's paying for it. That's a whole different type of thing. But like again, again, it goes back to this idea that like the economics of this whole thing just don't make sense. Yeah, it's not affordable. I'm broke, so I only use what's free. I want to make my own rig for compute, but that'll take a big investment. Yeah, I would love to have my own. Like I think that would be awesome to have your own inference machine. Yeah, I think that would be badass. 18,000 in tech is very low, but yeah, 600 per year is kind of tough. Copilot has a generous free tier. Yeah, I don't think the free tier is going to take you very far on all these on all these um on all these tools based on my experience. I know it's out there. I know you can cobble together usage across all these free tiers, but I just don't think it's going to take you very far. Let's see what so 18,000 was the average for a human, or was the median for a human. Let's see what if we can find like a median tech salary. Median global tech salary. Let's see if there's a data on this. See, median global tech salaries vary significantly based on roles, location. Yeah, I know all this. But is there some data? Let's see. Global IT professional median. So this is 2024. So let's say 76,000. I don't know. This data seems skeptical. Let's just say it's 80K. What's 80? So let's say 80K, and let's say you put the 2400, right? 200 times 12, yeah, 2400. So if you're 2400 divided by 80K, that's 3% of your annual salary. That's assuming your company doesn't provide you a subscription to one of these things. 3% seems like a lot. So I guess if you're making 80 grand a year, if you're making 80 grand a year, and let's see, 80 grand a year, what does 80K a year, let's see, whoops, I just closed that. What percent of earners make 80K or more globally? I'm just trying to wrap my head around. So approximately 1 to 2% of adults worldwide earn $80,000 or more per year. So literally, we're all over here talking about how affordable AI is. And like Pablo said, okay, let's say we're not making 18,000 a year because that's really low if you work in tech. So let's just say we're only talking about people who work in tech, and we're the only ones talking about the affordability of AI. And if we say the average global tech person makes 80K a year, we are like the top 2% of earners in the world, and we're speaking on the affordability of AI. I think there's a disconnect. I think we might be out of touch with the rest of the world. Uh, maybe we're out of touch a little bit with affordability. Yeah. Again, I know I'm biased. I will readily admit I am biased about this. I have my feelings about AI and they're not all good. And but I think the data backs up the fact that affordability isn't a question there. Yes, AI is a tool for tech people, in my opinion. Okay, I like that take, Pablo. I can get on board with this. Like I can 100% get on board with AI as a tool for tech people, but that's not really how it's being sold. But I can totally get on board. If we look at it through the lens of that, then I think affordability, it's probably affordable. But if we look at it from through the lens of like everyone's going to be using AI to do all their work all the time, you know what I mean? Like then maybe it's more of a valid argument. You hear y'all earn that much? I make more than 80K a year, yes. But obviously I live in the United States, right? There's all these factors that play into it. Although, like, you are not paying for a CAD subscription. Have you seen how much Rhino costs? Rhino? I have not. What is this? Rhino. I'm guessing this is not the Rhino you're talking about. Rhino AI. Let's see, AutoCAD or similar. Is an enterprise AI platform delivering? I mean, yes, yes. Your point about other things costing a lot of money is completely valid. Um, it just, I guess I'm taking issue of it from the fact of no, not AI. Um, AI Rhino software is that? But I guess I'm. Oh, here we go. 3D. Whoa, yeah. A single concurrent user costs $995. Although, is that a yearly price? What is that? Is this a one-time fee or a yearly price? I mean, that definitely seems expensive. That's one time. Oh well, at least it's one time. At least you don't have to pay 200. AutoCAD as monthly. Yeah. I mean, okay. So if you're telling me if the premise of our conversation is AI is only for people who work in tech and is only used to facilitate work, then my affordability argument is probably dumb. But if we're talking about AI being this like universal tool that everyone's going to use to do everything, I think my affordability argument has merit. Um, and probably if we're talking about the lower end of the spectrum in terms of earning for tech people or early in career folk or students, there's probably also some merit to the affordability. No way it's universal, but us as tech engineers should be using it. That's fair. Although I'm actively resisting for our career, not for personal necessarily. Yeah, I definitely think companies should probably be paying for it. I don't think engineers should be having to pay out of their pocket to use it, if the expectation is that you use it. I'm definitely going to try the open router thing though, because I definitely want to see if I can get away with more usage than what's stated on their website. Because 50 requests per day doesn't seem like very much. Let's see. Discord start typing. API not working. It's not working. Why is it not working? Let's restart. Let's try again. Rhino is a CAD software. LOL, sorry for the confusion. No, I figured it out. Yeah. No, when you said not AI, I think I was able to figure it out. Agreed, but freelancing contractors exist. They do. They do. Do you have a home lab setup? I do, but it's not like one of my Discord members was showing me their home lab setup. I mean, he was showing everybody his home lab setup. Let's see. See the above for AI chat thing part of the config. What? What is this? I don't know what this is for. Hmm. That must be for AI chat thing. Oh, the TUI maybe. I'm not sure what that is. But let me. I was gonna. Your home lab question made me think of this home lab that someone posted in my Discord. This guy, Filthy Potato, he's got like a legit home lab setup. Like, look at his little rack. Like, how cool is that? He's got a UPS over here. Like, he's got like a legit home lab setup. Mine doesn't look like that. Mine is basically my home lab setup. Oops, I about knocked off my coffee. My home lab setup is an old MacBook Air that I turned into a Linux server that sits on a cabinet over here. And then I have a Dell Optiplex upstairs in my kitchen, and that has a NAS sitting next to it, and that's essentially my home lab. So it's not very well put together, but I do use those machines to do home lab esque stuff. But I could use some up leveling. I'm running 10 services on the 2009 release laptop. Very cool. Yeah. See, like, okay, so me and you kind of have similar home lab situations going on. 50 is a lot if it's not being used agentically. Like, that's a massive conversation if you just use it as a chat bot and feed it the context. I guess. I don't know. 50 just doesn't seem like a lot to me. My home lab is an old laptop connected to my router, and that's it. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that because that's my home lab. Okay, cool. So I was kind of worried that maybe you guys had some like really serious home lab setups. So I was kind of hedging, but that's what my home lab looks like. Just old computers that I've installed Linux Ubuntu server on. Does C# have an HTTP client? Yeah, the typing indicator is not working, and I'm not sure why. Am I sending the right channel ID? Well, that's stupid. Let's see, bot, start typing, Discord not showing indicator. What you building? Oh, we're just hacking on the Discord bot. That's all we're doing. Just So I have a Discord bot that I built last year on stream, and I'm just trying to connect it to a large language model to give it the ability to like respond to messages. That's all we're doing right now. I probably don't make 50 requests in a week. Okay, cool. So that just means you're not using AI as much as I thought you were. I pay Cursor for me and my girlfriend for personal stuff. The company I work for pays for my work stuff. Then I have a service that uses a few cents per request from OpenRouter for converting videos to data. Interesting. Cool. How much is the Cursor? Is Cursor $200 a month? What's their cost? Total is 85 or so. Oh, 85. That's not bad. I think my only spend on AI right now is $10 a month to Google. I was paying $10 a month for GitHub Copilot, but I just canceled that. At the end, what is the internet if not old laptops being used as servers? Yeah, so true. It's funny. I was in a meeting at work the other day. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me explain why I'm saying this. So, what you said is so true, and it's interesting. We built up so many layers of abstraction, you know, that people tend to forget. Like, people tend to get disconnected from like the fundamentals of like how everything works, right? The fact that like, you know, HTTP, right, is sending data across the wire and parsing it, and somebody had to handwrite that code or had to write the code. And why am I bringing this up? So I was sitting in a meeting probably a month ago, and I was talking to some people at another company, and they were asking some questions about how to accomplish XYZ thing. And I was basically explaining, okay, well, you know, if this system has a public API and this other system has a public API, then somebody could build some middleware to exchange data and facilitate integration between these two systems, right? I didn't think it was like a very crazy statement. But then everybody that was on the call started referring to that as backyard engineering. And I obviously I was in a work setting, so I had to kind of, you know, hold my tongue. But so badly I wanted to be like, wait a minute, if that's backyard engineering, like what is engineering then? Like, yeah, it's like people seem to be so like, it's like most people are so used to working with like SaaS software and GUI tools that like they're so disconnected from like actually ever having to actually build something, that the idea of building something yourself is somehow I don't, what's the word? It's like frowned upon or shit on. I don't know. Is there they did you dirty? Yeah, I don't. I had. I was like, we're just talking about writing code to move data or to perform actions between systems. This is what engineering is. I don't. I don't under. I think people have they have too highfalutin of ideas about how systems and software really works, and it's like, well, I mean, probably all the software you use every day is just code that calls an API or calls this API and puts data here and puts data there, and like it's not more fancy than that, guys. Places I worked called it NIH syndrome, I think, inaccurately. NIH syndrome. That's pretty funny.
Did we just become best friends?
Hex Able Sec, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate you. That's very kind of you. What are we talking about if we don't build some kind of system ourselves? Yeah, and I wasn't on it. And this call wasn't with like a group of like non-tech people. It was like several IT professionals, and I was just like, man, people don't really build software anymore, I guess, in enterprise settings. They just buy a SaaS tool. By the way, can you suggest the best tech stack for web dev in 2026? So I'm so unopinionated on like tools and frameworks and stuff. So I'll just drop the best part of that question because I don't really know what the best is. I think it's very dependent on like what you're trying to accomplish and what how do you prefer building, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like preferential things that I think go into deciding what's best. I can just tell you what I like to use in 2026. I personally like, if I'm going to build a website, I personally like to have a .NET backend and some sort of TypeScript front end. And that could be vanilla TypeScript that gets compiled or transpiled to vanilla JavaScript and just served as static files. It could be a Vue spa. It could be a React spa. Totally up to you. And then as far as like persistence for like the database and stuff, if I can get away with just using SQLite, I'm just going to use SQLite. If I need something that's more conducive to doing like multi-user type of stuff, right? Where like you're going to have a lot of concurrent writes or need to support a lot of concurrent writes or potentially a lot of concurrent writes, then probably Postgres or Mongo, depending on how you feel about SQL versus NoSQL. Like I said, I'm not very opinionated on this stuff. All these technologies work and they're all used to build very successful products and businesses to some extent. So it really just comes down to like what do you want to work with, right? What do you enjoy working with? There's definitely probably certain niche use cases where like you need to specifically use this technology if you have these specific constraints and scale and XYZ thing. But you know, uh, give me a .NET backend, SQLite database, some sort of TypeScript front end, and I'm happy. And then if I need to swap out the SQLite database to Postgres or MongoDB, so be it, right? That's how I look at it. Stack, man, we have Echo and Cat. Everything else is just abstraction. I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. uh, let's see. For some reason, typing indicator is showing people as typing isn't showing up. That's not helpful. Support typing indicators for Discord in Message Tool. So this is what Bob was referring to because this is OpenClaw. So when an agent processes a response to a Discord message, it would be helpful to show the typing indicator so users know the agent is working on a reply. Native typing indicator support a message tool for Discord, similar to other messaging platforms. Let's see. Manual. Add an action like message. Let's see. I would love to see this extended to Discord. Beyond Discord, from the Discord chat on this, it seems there are more fundamental issues. Oh. Worth noting, there are several related bugs with the existing internal typing indicator system that may need resolving first. Okay, so I don't know how OpenClaw has accomplished this. Trying to find the code where they do this. Um, Hey, what's up, Estefano? Hey, yep, I'm back. I took a week there. Well, I would have streamed over spring break. It's just I didn't have access to a place to stream. Like not my brother's apartment's pretty big, but like there wasn't really like a good dedicated quiet space that I could do it early in the morning without waking other people up. So I had to take a week off. But I'm back. Abdul, what got you blushing, bro? Am I blushing? Huh. If I'm blushing, I don't know why. But good morning, Abdul. Good to see you. Check the dev section for your Discord bot options in Discord. Okay. Typing go burr. Hold on, what are you talking about? Discord bot options? Check the dev section. Oh, you mean in the actual my like Discord bot configuration? Okay, you mean on the actual Discord developer portal. So what you're saying? There's something not correct there. Hmm. I don't I don't think that's the problem. I don't think there's anything there because I have all the permissions. I don't think that's the issue.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, thanks for the follow, Krishna. Appreciate that. You was blushing when I joined the stream when you were reading the Claude docs or something? Oh, interesting. I don't know why I was blushing. Have you watched the recent podcast of Casey Muratori and Dimitri on AI? Should I be a carpenter? I have, yeah. I've watched all their episodes. They have 2 right now, right? Casey. For those that don't know, Casey Muratori started a podcast. It's really good. He's been speaking with I think one of his friends. I don't really know who the other guy is very well. Let's see, Casey Muratori. It's very good though. The Dimitri, the guy he's doing the podcast with, kind of lives in that AI world. Making sense of the hype. It's very good. Yeah, these are the 2 podcasts. I'll link to the playlist. Do they have a playlist? Yeah, there we go. It's good. They're long, but they're worth your time if you have time. What's your take on it? I think it's a valid take. I think it's interesting because Dimitri probably knows more about the AI sphere than I do. It sounds like that's still kind of a world he's working in, and to some extent. And he talked about like his own kids and like his niece and nephew, I guess, that he has. So it's very interesting to me. I find the most valuable advice or the most valuable thoughts from people who are actually having to advise other humans how to navigate all this. So it's interesting to hear how other people are trying to advise children or people in their lives who are younger about how to get through all this. I think, though, personally, I think he's far more optimistic. I think he is more optimistic about how quickly AI will impact people's occupations than I am. I still personally think that the speed at which AI will actually impact everybody's everyday lives and jobs and career prospects has a much longer tail than anybody wants to admit. I also think that AI companies are very quickly losing social permission. Like, I think AI is becoming very, very unpopular with the general public. And that's not a sentiment that I see likely changing very quickly. I mean, again, this is my opinion. My humble 32-year-old dad living in Kansas trying to earn his way to retirement opinion. Um, I'm looking through the OpenClaw source to figure out the typing indicator. It's super abstracted. Oh, well, thank you, Bob. Yeah, if you find a piece of code that might be helpful, I would appreciate seeing it. I mean, they got to be using this. I'm just not sure I'm doing it right. Let's see. Show Discord make bot show typing indicator. Hey, Ramplock, good morning. Good to see you again. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. These are all using libraries. These are all using either Discord.js or Discord.py. I mean, I don't really care about stopping. Maybe I can just respond with an emoji instead of a typing indicator. Hmm. Don't you think the job of writing code won't be taken? I don't mean the problem solving part. Yeah, I'm just not totally convinced the job of writing code is going to be consumed. I do think people are going to use AI in their jobs a lot. I mean, the thing is, like, if we went to any other profession and was like, hey, here's a tool that makes you not have to do your job, which is basically what we're selling AI to engineers as, it's like, hey, here's a here's a tool for you to not have to do as much work. I think it's always going to get adoption. Most people are out of job to earn a paycheck. So if you have something, if a company's willing to buy you a tool that essentially allows you to not do as much work and still get paid, you're probably going to adopt it because most people just don't give a shit. They're just trying to earn a paycheck. But I'm not sure that goes away. I do think AI is going to be a part of the development process for the foreseeable future. I'm just not as convinced, I guess, as everybody else. I think the jobs will still be there. They will just make much less money. Could be. They use the lib bop carbon. Okay. Bop carbon. A fully featured HTTP library for Discord bots. Okay. Let's see. Let's go into packages. Carbon. Let's look at their test. Client test. Typing. Oh. So they gotta have a client here somewhere. Carbon, source, classes, client.ts. See how they organize this client. There's the constructor. Handle event requests, handle interaction requests, handle interaction. Let's see, fetch user, fetch guild, fetch channel. So it looks like they kind of organize their shit the same way. So let's see, channel. Where's the channel? Channel select. Nope, that's not what I want. Source classes. Internals. Nope, that's not it. Let's see, abstract classes that are used to create other classes with inheritance of mind. Classes that the end user will import into their application. So it's just the main client. Factories, classes that are used to create structures. Structures, classes are used for APIs such as command. Okay, structures. So what does the, okay, hold on. So he said, what did he say? Abstracts. Base channel. The type of the channel. Fetch, delete. So how do they call the typing? Man, what a lack of documentation from the Discord API. Is building a bot directly with the Disk API that rare? It really is. Most people do not implement a direct implementation with the Discord API. Most people use a library, which I'm not going to say that's a bad choice. It's probably the right choice. It's just not what I did. I think most people just pull the off-the-shelf Discord JS, I think, for the vast majority of Discord bots that exist in the world. So, I mean, their documentation is good, though. I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to knock Discord's documentation. I just don't know why it doesn't work. Because it seems like it should, the way I'm using it should work. Discord API start typing. Because they do have documentation for it. It's just... I don't want those. I want the actual Discord reference. Let's see, start typing. Yeah. So here's the documentation, which is what I'm using. It's just not working the way it should. See, it says post the typing indicator for the specified channel, which expires after 10 seconds. Returns a 204 empty response on success. Oh. So I don't think I'm getting a 204 response. Let's see, if not is success. So let's say response.status code is not 204. Cannot convert from, oh, is not. No content. I think I'm getting a 200. So let's I think I'm getting a 200. So we need to figure out why I'm not getting a 204 if that's the case. Okay, let's try this one more time. Oh, it's 713 too. Shit. I, I need to go do the work stuff. Hold on. Let's try this one more time. Yo, bro. Show me your typing indicator. That sounded way too. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I think I did it again. I did it again. This is the reason why. I'm an idiot. That's bitten me so many times now. That's the second time that's done that. It was my fault. It was not Discord's fault. It was my fault. It was my fault. I think it'll work now. Hello there. You having a good day? There we go. Right there. Bot is typing. It does display a little long, but it does eventually go away. The 204 status code. Okay, so what I did was, okay, so this is how I basically figured out what I was doing wrong. So it returns a 204 if it's successful. So I added a check in my code specifically for the 204 status code, right? That allowed me to actually log the response or log what was happening. When I logged what was happening, I saw that it was returning me not JSON content, but like an HTML document. You can kind of see all this text. This is actually like an HTML page that it responded with. And the reason why it did that was because the typing endpoint I was using was not properly. I wasn't sending it to the proper endpoint. So I had a root URL at the beginning of my URI, or a / at the beginning of my URI. So when I was actually trying to make the request, it wasn't hitting the right endpoint. It was still a successful request. It was still returning a 200, but it wasn't hitting against the right endpoint. So removing that, now I'm hitting the right endpoint. Now it's working. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, I know how to write code. Yes. That's 30 minutes of my life I wasted trying to figure that out. That also happened it happened last week when I was working on this. I made that same mistake. So that's my fault. It does work though. Cool. So the only thing I will say is I don't like the fact that it hangs around for 10 minutes or 10 seconds. So is there some way I can control that? I guess not. I wonder how they control it. Hmm. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on how other people control this because it does look a little bit funny. Yo, my guy, does Go have an HTTP client I can use? Yeah, so it does look a little not it's not totally bad because sometimes the inference does take a little bit of time. It's probably good enough. It's good enough, Steven. Stop obsessing over it. It's fine. Nice. Well, thank you for trying to look through OpenClaw to figure it out, man. I really appreciate you doing that. You guys don't ever need to make up for my incompetence, but I appreciate you guys trying to help me. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I think it's good enough. All right, so we solved the long message issue. We solved the channel, making sure we're in the right channel. We now have a typing indicator. Um, I think there was a couple other to-dos I had before I submitted this. Let's see. Pass cancellation token to handler. Oh, that one's already done. Don't need that. To do. We need a. Oh, yep. We need a system prompt. Okay, so handle 429 response specifically to include the retry after time in the error message to the user. Okay, this is something I do want to handle. So if we do get a 429, so if response dot status code is HTTP status code dot to many requests, like that. Then we want to return logger.log warning. Let's see. Let's just for now. Let's just say rate limit exceeded. And then this is going to have a specific error message. For now, we'll just return the error. We'll just return. Oh boy, it looks like I'm out of tokens. Try again later. So what I want to do here is I actually want to extract the retry. So let's do to do extract the retry in seconds from the response and include it in log and message to user. Okay. And then we need to figure out a system prompt because I do kind of want to put a little bit of constraints around the model so people can't be like, write me a sexy romance novel in my Discord. You know what I mean? I don't. I want to try to constrain it to some extent. Although I'm sure Gemini probably has pretty good. I'm sure Gemini has pretty good guardrails already around it, but I feel like it's worth doing some due diligence for that. Yeah, people are just using my Discord bot to help them produce explicit content. This is not what I want from this experiment. All right, well, I've run out of time for today, but that was fun. This has been fun to hack on. It's always fun to write code. I can't believe people are so eager to get rid of this activity from their lives. Gemini actually has guardrail disables built in. Really? Okay, well, that's good. Right? That's good. I just feel like it would be irresponsible of me not to provide a system prompt, right? And that way we can give the bot a little bit of a personality with the system prompt. But those are the last two things I need to do before I merge this, and then I'll deploy it. Okay. Well, guys, I've come to the end of the stream, the first stream for the week. I hope you all have a great Monday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning, like the usual, for more of the same. Writing code like a caveman in an AI world. Petition to name it Jerry. Right now, it's just named Steve's bot. I think it's gonna stay Steve's bot, but if we could come up, maybe we can come up with a better name. I don't know. I'm hesitant to anthropomorphize bots too much. Like I still want people to think it's a bot. Yeah. All right. See you here. Bye, Hellbending. Bye, Bob. See you, Stefanos. Bye, James. Bye, Rampla. See you guys. If you're new here and you want to come back and hang out again in the future, I'll drop my schedule in the chat there. Writing code like a caveman in the backyard. Nice. Exactly. Doing some backyard engineering. I'll drop my schedule in the chat here. Jerry the bot. See you, King Brownie. Have a good day, man. And then I'll also put the Discord link too in the chat in case you want to join our Discord. No pressure there, but all are welcome. All right, bye guys. Have a great day. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. See you guys.